Said them all, haven't we, really? I'm very conscious you sat there and you don't want to listen to the likes of me going on with myself. But I think one of the things that I just wanted to say, and I know the local authority and the NHS organisations, I need you to know how committed we are to this. This is a massive issue for us, absolutely huge. And everyone is passionate about it. Yeah, it's a strategy and it's written down, but this is about people's lives. And it's really hit home to everybody in the organisations on the duty of care that we actually owe to our carers. And I think one of the things that we did just want to point out and be clear about is that Sam made that point that everyone's an individual. And I think we're absolutely clear that every unpaid carer has their own unique experience of being a carer. It's not something that many people ask to do, just like being cared for is not many people ask for. And people rise to the challenges and the opportunities that come with that. And that involves for many people readjusting your life. And that can have a really huge impact. And that's what this is about. This is about people's lived experience. The way in which you are able to get on with your life and actually make the most of it. And I think one of the things that we're really clear about is that if we're all to maintain as best health as we can and good health, then we need, it's not complicated sometimes, is it? And sometimes I think we make it really complicated. And what do most of us need? For the rub of the green, we get good health or not, many times. And we can make some inroads, but we need a decent place to live. We need a decent income so that we're not stressing or worrying about, can I turn the heating on, which we all do, or I can afford healthy food, or can I get away and give myself a break so that I can carry on. These are the basic building blocks of life for most human beings. And I think what this strategy has enabled us to do is actually refocus on what's really, really important. And our commitment to supporting unpaid carers and the organisations, including BWD carers, who work with you, with people, to support you day in and day out. In what often seems like a minefield, sometimes it can seem that the system is set up to conspire against you because it is so complicated. And you know why? Because it is complicated. Anything to do with money streams and support is. And part of this is how we can try and simplify it. But there's an absolute dedicated commitment to you having a voice. And if you are an unpaid carer or you're representing unpaid carers, an absolutely open door to knock on to say, what can we do to help? Now, neither myself nor Claire, who's the senior leader from the ICB, are going to be stupid or silly enough to say that we can wave a magic wand and make everything better. But what you will get is personal, heartfelt, using Sam's terms, pledges that we will do everything that we can to support you in your caring role and to support those people who are actually cared for. You know, I had about 50 slides of stats here, and I'm not going to go through them. I'm a real stats person, and you're probably thinking, God, he's more boring than he looks now. But the reason that I like statistics and data is because it actually tells you things. And it tells people who are in positions where we can purchase services, the kind of money we need to be looking at, how we actually commission organisations to deliver services. What's the scale of the issue? Because if we don't know the scale, how can we help? So some of those issues are really important. And I think some of the things we don't talk enough about in the borough, we need to open up. So the borough's changing. We have 150,000 people, as I was saying earlier on. And 57% of those people are actually of a white British ethnic group, 18% Asian British Pakistani, and 16% Asian British Indian. So we have different perspectives, we have different contributions from different parts of the community. And how do we develop and work together to help our communities evolve so that one of the big things that the council is saying, nobody is left behind. So we don't just want this borough to be known as you know, they've got high levels of deprivation. Yes, we have. We want it to be a borough where we can help it grow so that there's good employment opportunities, we can invest in good housing, and all of that is what people need to be able to thrive. And in the borough, we have a greater number of people who are classed as economically inactive. And basically what I'm saying by that, people who are not able to work either because of ill health or because they're caring or a range of different other issues. So if people want to work, and not everybody, even people may have retired and that's fine, or you may not be able to, and that's what you are going to do, be a carer, and that's great and we'll support you. But for those people that want to balance that with work, what can we put in place to support you without your finances suffering as it moves forward? So I think one of the points I just did want to make as well is that in adult social care in this borough, how many people do you think are employed in this borough in the area of adult social care? Have a guess. Doesn't matter if you're wrong, because I wouldn't know unless I actually did this job, by the way.
2,342.
You won out. Okay, any other calls on that? 2,300 and what?
42.
Okay, 5,000.
This lady said 5K.
5,000. Well, it's just over 4,000 people are employed in the. So I'm pretty impressed that you're in the right ballpark there. The reason you might be thinking, where's he going with this? I'm saying because if we employ 4,000 people and we spend just under £80 million on support services, then we have 13,500 carers. It dwarfs the paid workforce, and carers are saving us over £400 million. So it makes absolute sense for the organisations to be supporting unpaid carers, you if you are an unpaid carer, in this particular way. One more minute, Sam. I can feel her itching to kick me off. And Claire will be thinking, he never shuts up once he actually gets in front of a microphone. But I think these are really important. And it was just touched on, but we have something called the Care Act, and that does put a legal duty on NHS providers and the local authority to assess. And Sam and I'm making this point, you might be thinking, oh my God, what's he saying? Sometimes we disagree. I know. Wow. But I think that's the culture we need to develop. One where we can see life through different lenses and see it in a different way. And then we say, wow, where do we go with this then? How do we move it forward? And I think that's one of the cultural changes that we're going to continue to build on. How do we have conversations about challenges which people are facing day in and day out? And are we providing the right support for people? BWD and organisations in this room do a great job of supporting people and that information and advice, but are we doing enough? Carers survey we did recently suggested only a third of people suggested we were doing enough to support people with the myriad of challenges individuals face, whether that's from being isolated, being lonely, from feeling desperate, from struggling financially. All of those areas are some of the issues that came forward. And then that census data, and Sam really picked up on this. I was surprised that the number had come down because it doesn't feel like that. But how many people actually recognise yourself as a carer? So I'm just speaking, I know I'm conscious as I look at faces here that people who are in paid roles have been carers as well, but my sister did the lion's share of caring for my dad who died last year. And I thought, I'm not the carer, I can't say I'm a carer because she does the vast majority of the work, which is not unusual, is it? And I was kind of not seeing myself in that role, even though I contributed to a whole range of different things to enable him to stay at home for as long as he was able to. And that has an impact. Now I accept I'm there on the spectrum. Other people are living with the cared for person, with your loved one 24 hours a day, and that's the point that's different. And what we want to be able to do is to provide that proportionate level of support for you. But we don't just want to reinvent the wheel. There's lots of stuff that works. You know, every time I come here, Sam tells me, you need to understand, Mark, we're already doing lots of really good work. So that doesn't need to be done again because we're doing it. So it's building on the good things. So I'm going to leave it at that. I've talked about most of it. I did want to say, on behalf of the local authority and the ICB and our NHS partners, is the word thank you enough? No, but it is genuine. It's a genuine, heartfelt thank you to all of our unpaid carers that actually operate in this borough, because without you, as I said earlier on, we wouldn't survive. The whole system would come crumbling down, and we need you to know we're very mindful of that. Thank you for your role, and again, as Sam said, the work starts now, and I'm fascinated to work through and track how the Carers Board is actually going to develop some of the things and the actions that continue to improve the offer that we make. So thank you for listening.